Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over how to improve your hip and shoulder disassociation when throwing the football, and we'll start the video right now.
This is the newest edition of the Perform Side.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become. All right, so a big thing that happens when you're throwing the football is we want to be able to generate that hip rotation before we start to open up with that front shoulder, right? And the better we could do at being able to, lead with that hip rotation and get that separation there, so we're creating a lot of action within that lower body, and then be able to follow that up with a good amount of pull and action within that front shoulder, especially when we're trying to throw the ball far, right? We obviously don't want to try to really, big hip rotation, big front shoulder action when we're trying to throw like a 5-yard in route or a quick like screen pass or something like that. But when you're trying to go and really throw the ball a long way, we do want to be able to utilize more than just the hand and the arm. We want to be able to utilize that lower body, create that rotation within that lower body, and then also utilize that upper body as well. And just understanding that when you're throwing is rotating here and then coming through with that front shoulder after we first create that rotation here, so you don't open up with that front shoulder. We want to rotate and then come through with that front shoulder and then release the ball is important. But I do want to be able to give you this drill, which I think will help in being able to understand it, because part of it is just being able to create that separation, right? And you can do this on like a gate, I have a lot of people do, or like a fence or something like that. You could also use like a bar in like a gym or something. But you can see where I'm getting myself into a nice little knee bend with my legs. And the big thing that I just want to be able to do is really understand how to generate rotation. And it's good to really do it on both sides, right? So I'm a right-handed thrower, and I feel a lot better going and rotating into this way. But I can do it to both sides. I can go to the left as well as to the right. So I want to be able to work on both. And when I'm doing it, I just want to really emphasize, and I can even move this back more to really emphasize keeping this front shoulder closed, right? So I'm going to go and I'd be looking like I'm throwing, and I'm just working on being able to make this into a strong action where I'm able to really, get a lot of power into it, right? So this wants to be fast and it wants to be powerful. Even, kind of load back and then rotate and make that a big part of being able to generate a lot of force in the lower body. When I do this, I want to keep my front foot down, so I don't want to be lifting up with that front heel, okay? And I also want to be pivoting with that back leg, and most importantly, keeping this front shoulder closed, right? And being able to really create a lot of hip rotation activation. A lot of people have a hard time when first doing this because there ends up being a bit of a gap in understanding being able to generate a lot of hip rotation with a lot of force. And so just being able to get that movement down could be beneficial for you to then be able to implement that into the throw, right? And I'd recommend doing that a few times, throwing a few times, seeing how that ends up feeling, and then going and continuing to, progress that into further and further throws and make it so it's more and more of a habit. Again, what I talk a lot about within the program is that it's about making subtle changes consistently and making it so within a change in the habit, a change of how your body goes through the throw is something that we continually work on until the habit is created. Because what happens a lot of time is people will end up getting, better within, let's say, lower body hip rotation, right? And being able to use their lower body better and the timing within in that hip and shoulder disassociation, so they get the hips going, right? And then keep that front shoulder closed, come through the throw, and the throw's bad, right? Because everything was off within the, how the body and the brain is interpreting the whole movement, right? Typically, the athlete's doing it wrong. Now, all of a sudden, they did the throw correct, but then the ball doesn't end up flying the way that they want to because the actual connection within the brain isn't there yet. So to me, as a coach, I'm almost like, better. I think it's better when you end up messing up the throw when we're going through, focusing on technical improvements, because that tells us that there's a change being made. That means that there's an adjustment that is happening within the throw that then makes it so we can build off of that and make it so now that habit ends up being something that is
changed, right? And being able to get those hips through, the hip and shoulder disassociation, the wrist position, the elbow drive, whatever the case may be, we want to look for the opportunity to recreate a connection within the brain and the muscles. And in order to do that, there has to be difference, there has to be change. And so when you can create that and then start to feel improvement within there, that's when we can start to really make a long-term change in terms of the throwing mechanics. So that ends up being a big thing with me. It's a lot about teaching, right? It's a lot about teaching, a lot about understanding, a lot of making it so you're able to get a good grasp of what should be happening within the body and making it so we could really feel what is it that we're doing that is messing up our ability to throw the ball really well. And so, yeah, if you want to get a little bit more, if you have any questions, I guess, go ahead and, you leave those in the comments. You can reach out to me, give me a call, send me an email, whatever ends up being the best case. And also we have a lot of great options within the description, throw breakdowns, throw programs. We have some different options for if you want to do the throw breakdown, the throw program. If you do 3 months, it's a little bit cheaper over that 3-month period of time, or you could do the monthly. It's a little bit more cost effective. Either way, you're going to get a ton out of it. You get a lot of one-on-one time with me to help you in improving your throw. I know it might be uncomfortable for us to be able to do it online, but trust me, I give you so many resources, even though we're doing it online, that you will probably even get better improvements online than you would working with me in person, because I just am able to give you so much stuff. And we have such a great connection. I do Zooms all the time. We do breakdowns, so I almost recommend, there's people that I work with locally in the LA area where we do almost more stuff online than we do in person, because I just think that it's so much better for a time perspective and also for the ability to actually make the improvements. So again, thanks for watching here. Like, subscribe, check out the description. We'll talk to you soon.